that I was hoping on was only 2 people were Sandman and Vinkle. But I think Sand will be fine, doing his thing. And
What tier are we training in?
oh, it doesn't matter. We're just going over the map in general, just talking about different things. So to start it off, so I've made a video on this. I'm going to go ahead and upload it here in a bit. I've got a I'll post a thing on the forum about it. So it might not be up until the middle of next week, depending on when I sit down and do this. But it is going over this map. So, what are some of the biggest things that you guys come across about mines? What do you guys like and dislike about mines? And Vasanti said that she thinks it's too small. So,
well, it's small, but way too many teams tend to ignore the west side of the map.
Okay, so they ignore the left-hand side, the left corridor.
Yeah, because I've seen teams do that, and someone else will go there and, hey, run down there. Next thing you know, they're spotting your cap and shooting up your RD and shooting up your TDs every time they open fire.
Yep, I fully agree. I think the left-hand side of the map is a fast lane into each other's bases. You don't have to go through the meat grinder that is the heavy tanks on the hill or in the town. So, all right, so you think a lot of people ignore left-hand side of the map. I concur with that. So what are some other things that you guys like and dislike about this map?
With me, with the TD, I've been having a problem finding a good spot on the south side. The north side's not a problem.
Right, north side's got that platform. Everybody knows where the TDs go on the north side. Pretty obvious. That's both. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Max.
No, you can cover a good almost the entire map from that point.
Mm-hmm.
South side, I can't ever find nowhere.
All right. Well, I mean, there's about 4 or 5 good spots south side that yeah, I'm learning that from the south side. The perch in the west is a good spot for mediums to shoot in the middle. Yep.
Good TD spot, if I may say, is well, can't poke it on the map right here, but on the west side of the map, on the south side, there's that little hillock right there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone coming down that line trying to roll you up there, TD on that hill can tear the crap out of them, especially if they have one that's decently armored.
And you're talking about that little peninsula that's at the very starts at like basically like K and J0, works its way up. And yeah, it's got that rock face on the right hand side. That is an excellent position for almost any tank that has a decent turret, or I mean, you can even do a TD. If TD's got a good amount of armor, man, you can halt that entire flank.
Or you can go right up in the middle, that little one in the little rock outcropping in the middle. They don't have nobody up there. You've got like a medium supporting you. You can shoot right at their base and blast them all day long.
Oh yes, yeah. The left-hand side of the map is definitely something that needs to be paid attention to. Now, Spivey, what were you gonna say?
When y'all are talking about the rock face on the south side, that's where I usually go for a TD.
Gotcha. That's a good one.
Okay.
If
we're gonna pull
armored TD. A lot of places in the town on the east side of the map, you can get in amongst the buildings there, and like trying to hide in the bush, you can get up there and brawl them. Like if you got like a T-30 or some of the Soviet ones, which are fairly well up in the front, get up there, especially that little, what is that? That little kind of a castle-ish thing, got that little narrow pass right there along the mid side of the island, middle. You can get in there with a strong front TD and just hold them back. I mean, I get in there with a Doom Turtle and just annoy the crap out of people because they can't penetrate me half the time.
Nope, no, that's an excellent point. There are a lot of key positions that you can fight from in this, and there are a lot of pros and cons about this map. So we're gonna wait for Ripper here to be able to join us.
Yeah, it's loading up right now.
Take your time. Take your time. So I mean, what are some other things that you guys notice about it? I mean, like, just give me your feedback about mines in general. Do you like it? Do you dislike it?
I hate it.
Sometimes it's cooling stuff out.
Okay.
So it's cooling on racks. What you want to
here's Rippin'.
have up, what you want to freeze. But
Yep.
I'll get in there in a moment. We're having a little training session. I'll go in there and I'll just probably just go ahead and fold wrap the loaf up, the big loaf up, and then the others we can just Aggies, because we'll go through
They're
this
all
quick.
Usually, best way to do it.
So
And
So
then
they
put
could
it
take
away
this
into
map away anytime they like
Aggies
and
they can
bring back Swamp.
I'm
Well,
okay. I hear your opinion there, Oddball. Ironically,
Same with Himmelsdorf.
but the local
Himmelsdorf. I can agree with Himmelsdorf. I actually dislike Himmelsdorf. Now, I actually like this map. I know that seems crazy, but since I started playing Russian medium tanks, I have really enjoyed this map. And I don't know why. I really don't know what it is. And I mean, you get a lot of guns facing a lot of places and get a lot of infighting, and it gets really difficult. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the line that I chose. But here recently, I've thoroughly enjoyed this map. So one of the first things that I thoroughly enjoy to do and think about how to help win this map is I will think where or how fast are the opposing tanks? Am I faster than those tanks? Are my teammates faster than those tanks? Because this map is so we've got to rush to this point that it becomes very, 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 very much so that you will see a lot of tanks die immediately in the map, right? I mean, just like I'm running right now, booking it all the way up to this hill. Okay, you'll joust with one another. You'll clash into one another. So, I've made it all the way to the hill. Oh wow, we see the T-67. I've made it here. Okay, so we'll all just kind of meet up here. Or if you're too slow, oh my God, are you okay, buddy? That damn near killed you.
Yeah, stop sooner.
So you'll see a lot of times where right in here, I got you, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry,
There you
it's taking me a long time to get there. This thing nowhere fast.
So, yep. So you'll see a lot of times where this position right here is where you engage the enemy. This is the first portion of this fight, right?
Yeah.
All comes down to who can kill whom and get this hill. So the north side will always try to come into this pocket, and the south side will always try to come into this pocket over here. Now, why do you guys think that is? Why is it that the north side doesn't just try to swing around to that side over here and just kind of run up their hill this way? I mean, why doesn't the south side come to this half?
Because they get hit quicker if they come around the other way.
Okay,
They'll be in battles quicker because they're more exposed.
Well, it's a straighter line if you don't make that U-turn.
Right.
Okay. Not to mention you're showing your ass to the enemy.
Yep.
Those kinds of things. It's counterproductive. You aren't actually getting to cover, things like that. So, reason I asked is I had someone yell at me because I didn't make this U-turn right here, coming up and turning all the way into there. To which I just kind of laughed at myself, and I was in a tier 8 game. So, just kind of like, why the hell would I? So, anywho. So, you always, almost always, will find that the beginning of the fight starts here, okay? And then it all unfolds from here. If they put 3 tanks here, how many can you track, kill, or destroy right here? And I have seen so many poor sons of bitches that make it right... Okay, that was unnecessary.
Sorry.
Yeah, we weren't exactly supposed to be killing each other, bud. So, because I mean, that kind of takes away from poor Rip in there. Hey.
Sorry, bud.
So.
I thought we were actually skirmishing. Okay.
Oh no! No! We're just sitting here talking. No, I mean, why would we put tier 6s against tier 9s? There's even a 2 in here. I mean, yeah. No, dude, we're not skirmishing.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that a monster truck?
Yeah, exactly. That's Monday. So, anyways.
He's gonna owe him some money, probably.
Oh yeah. Anywho, so you have a lot of fighting come right here. Okay, so usually what happens is within the first 2 to 3 minutes is what determines this hill, right? So let's say the north spawn wins, they take up this southern half. All of a sudden, it becomes a totally different game for the south spawn. So I guess I can just go around and start showing you guys areas and things to watch out for once you have the hill. And since we'll talk about the hill first, and then we'll branch out to other parts. So when you have the hill, and especially if you're coming from the north side, one major thing that you need to worry about is the TD line. Okay, so the difference between the TDs in the south to the TDs in the north is that they can be spaced out, and they get so many more angles. So it becomes so much more difficult for the north side to just kind of just, I'm going to roll up here, and they're getting shot from 4 different positions from TDs. Okay, so you have to be very careful. You have to come from very direct angles, but I personally think that, apparently Wargaming agrees with me here, that the north side has a better time on this hill than the south side does. Because I can sit into a position like this, and all of a sudden I'm already safe, right? Okay, or I can come over to over here, and all of a sudden I'm influencing this entire side, right? All the heavies are running up into this half, and I'm already safe, and TDs can't hit me, right? So it makes it very, very advantageous to try to take this, especially if you're north side. Okay, I mean, you can sit here and be TD safe, and for like a position over here. So you will, you'll notice that you can fight from this position a lot more, and also notice how much higher this is than the platform directly across from us. Okay, so TDs don't get a literal perpendicular shot. I mean, they aren't shooting at a parallel level. They are shooting at a lower level. I mean, you are aiming down on the enemy from this position. So this becomes far more advantageous for you as the north side to be able to shoot, like, let's say where Zul's at over there as the T50. So, and if you guys can't see him, he's like right there where I shot. So, I mean, these guys have a much more difficult time trying to. All right, Vasanti, I'm not gonna lie, that is like the cutest little tank right now. Just driving around, looking at it, it's funny. So, anyways, so yeah, it becomes much harder to dig these guys out from the north side, okay, and trying to fight from the south side. So one tactic that I thoroughly recommend is to proxy spot. So can anyone tell me the distance for proxy spotting? Like, how far do you have to be, or how close do you have to be in order to proxy spot?
50 meters.
50 meters, okay. Alright, so I can spot most of you guys just by simply driving around at the base of this hill. And I'm already safe the entire time. So let's say that you don't win the hill and you're fighting from the south spawn. Your greatest advantage is to just trace this hill, right? And you can usually knock 1 or 2 of them and keep them from, like, running up and getting a shot off. And yeah, let's not do this again, buddy. So, and you can usually prevent them from being able to fire safely because there is so much bush cover there that one of the greatest advantages that they have up here is that they can shoot and then get spotted and not have to be spotted before they shoot. Okay, so they can fire off and roll back, and if that TD's not looking at them, like, so I'm over here and I'm in this bush, then I'm not expecting a shot from little old Vasanti right there. I can't see her, right? So, yep, ping ping. The thing has an auto-loader on it? That's actually kind of cool. I haven't played it yet. Anyways, so, and, like, I mean, even the spot that Spivey's at, right? I mean, Spivey's got I can only see his front track, his turret, and that's about it, right? I mean, like, maybe the front plate of his tank. And Spivey probably has a clean shot on me the entire time. I mean, so, you guys have the advantage up there, and it is so much harder for us to fight from the south side firing into the hill. So try to help your team out by removing their advantage of giving them the spot. You can't push through the front of the opening of the hill. There's too many heavy tanks, right? So now let's flip sides. Let's go over to the north side of the hill, and let's pretend that the south side has won the hill, right? So
one thing from this position now.
Yep. What's up?
Little place we talked about over here. Sometimes you'll have a TD hide down here, and if you are up here where we are, They've got a line of sight on you.
Okay. Well, everybody else couldn't see, so.
They'll whack you right in the side.
Yep. All right. So you're talking about. Go ahead and ping it again, and I will drive out there.
Where's where Zul's headed out to?
Yep. Well, I mean, they may not be able to see Zul. Remember that we're on a team right now, and we can see each other's pings. So, but yes, and you're talking about the peninsula all the way out there.
Yeah.
So.
Out there are places out there where you can catch you in the flank here. You get lit.
Yep. So what he's talking about is this entire peninsula that's at the K through H 1 and 2. That whole little area out over there. Is you can shoot into the southern side of this hill, and especially where Cat Mobius is, you can get some pretty good side shots on anybody that's trying to take that position. But it's only if they poke. It is very conditional. So
I've fallen and I can't get up. Right behind you, Captain Obvious.
Hey, King, can you not completely start over, but can you go out and so I can get back in?
oh yeah, absolutely. Here.
Haven't spotted.
So sorry, Dap. We gotta kill the Reds.
Oh, that's right.
Not that.
Yes.
Sorry, Oddball.
Oh, there we go. All right, cool.
Eh.
Oh,
Yeah, it took you 2
at least
shots
I
for
got
them.
to see that.
Yep, that was actually pretty cool.
He stole my kill.
Over big time.
I said, bang, flip.
He stole my kill. I gotta get something faster.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. Zul, we're gonna go ahead and put you on the other team. That way you can run around and kind of like keep me spotted, and that way we can That way you can ping with them as well.
Which vehicles here? So I've got something a bit quicker too.
Yeah.
The Doom Turtle is great, but it doesn't go anywhere fast, even downhill.
Yeah, let you lightweight too. Yeah, there we go. Oh. So yeah, we'll go ahead and restart this, and we'll start playing this from the we're playing it as the south side has won the hill. So you'll notice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to grab a different tank.
No, you're fine. Take your time, Oddball. Anyways, you will notice that the advantage that the north side has against the hill is actually greater, and it's quite literally because of the platform that the TDs go to. If you look at the north side of the hill versus the north spawns TD platform, it is basically the same height, right? So because of that, the TDs have a much easier time shooting into the hills area. So since they can do that, they can whittle down, and if anybody gets spotted up there, they can just get chunked, right? So it becomes so much harder to put influence out from the hill from the north side, and I'll kind of get over why. So I'll go over why. So.
That's the only reason I usually you see me not go to the hills because I've got a tank that doesn't have very good gun depression, and all that poking and prodding, it doesn't help you very much.
Nope.
Some of the Soviet tanks are terrible for that.
And I agree. But, funny enough, I actually enjoy them. He's so cute. I actually enjoy the Soviet tanks up there. And it's once you get used to the 5 to 6 to 7 degrees of gun depression that the Soviet tanks have versus like the Americans like 10 to 12, you start to notice that you have a I'm gonna say an easier time dealing with it, but it's like you learn when to poke, right? And you specifically poke only on certain areas, right, or certain targets, and you start to minimize your field of fire. So let's say there's 3 TDs on the platform, you can just put a barrier between 2 of them and fire at 1, right? Wait until he reloads and just poke up. So we're on the north side of the hill, and one of the big things is, and Spivey out there, you okay, buddy? Here we go.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Alright, Spive. Actually, if you could do this solid, can you go up to where the TDs usually go for you? So, like, all the way up there. And I want you to see how level we are to Spivey, right? So So, like, you see Zool and you see Spivey out there, right? So, we are very level to them, which means that we have no, like, height advantage, right? We do not technically have the high ground against them. We are on equal ground. We just have a distance between us. So it becomes very difficult for us to be able to fight from this position, because there are way too many corridors, right? So I'll go over there and I'll keep these guys lit for you, for our team. Everybody else can obviously see it. So, like, as you guys move around, try to imagine. Oh, hello! Hey, it's Gunner! What's up, buddy?
Training on the server.
Wow, I haven't seen you in a while.
Shoot over the top of the triple X.
Yep.
That's cool.
So,
Sorry.
anyways, so like as you're fighting from these positions and you guys notice these tanks, it is so much harder for you guys to be able to safely be able to poke in this area. So as you roll up to this front to be able to see through, if you get spotted, you are in 10 seconds of danger, because all of these TDs can just unload, and you aren't going to be able to escape them until you turn the corner, or until you get back behind the little castle up there, right? So that entire platform, you aren't safe. But whereas if you're on the south side of the hill, fighting from the north, you are going to notice that you have a much easier time finding safe areas, and just simply rolling backwards will help you stay safe. So, I mean, like, you're not safe from that hill until you guys are basically right where I'm at now, and even then, not really, because, like, Zool can still hit me. And unless you're all the way, like, back here, right? I mean, you have to make it through this narrow corridor. Well, I mean, you're still spotted. I mean, like, oddball, you can still hit me from here, can't you?
I can hit your turret.
Yep. Point is, you can still hit me.
Yeah, and if I got a big enough gun, I can blast a hole through you.
Oh, yes, you can. And that's...
Can Artie hit him?
Oh, yeah, Artie can definitely hit him there. And we're not even counting Artie into this. I mean, if you're going to be Artie safe, I mean, you're going to have to stay, like, right here. Well, you can't do anything, right? I mean, especially if you got a guy that's right around this corner who is Artie safe, who's proxy spotting you. It is so much harder to fight from this side of the hill. Now, I'm not saying that it is not worth
_Gunner disconnected
being...
from
Oh,
your
we lost
channel,
Gunner.
MIT.
I'm not saying that
from
it's
the
not
server.
worth trying to take the hill from the south side. I mean, it most definitely is. It's just you have to be on your tiptoes, right? You're walking on eggshells on that half trying to spot these TDs up here.
Well,
So, oh, go ahead.
I was just where you were just at, this rock that's in between the two of them. I mean, is this? I don't know if those guys can spot me or not.
SGT_King_Gunner
About
joined
Zool,
the
can you see
server.
me?
You have 6 cents on that tank?
Not yet.
All
Yeah.
right.
If you get spotted.
SGT_King_Gunner switched
So,
channel to
where you
just
at?
poke me on the
Yeah,
server.
we're spotted by the tiny tank.
I mean, I can see you right there.
But you're not exactly Artie safe in that spot. And
not?
you're also... No, you're not. This is too exposed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you have to have a cover like this size right here in order to be able to be truly Artie safe.
So that's how they're able to get over rocks.
Yeah, because you have to sit there and think they're an indirect fire form, right? And they don't even have to hit you in order to deal damage. They can hit the ground next to you. So, I mean, they do
Okay.
splash damage. Now,
And something I might point out from where I'm sitting, I can see Vasanti and shoot him.
here's the thing. I actually really dislike that spot for one reason.
Hard to get away.
Nope, not Artie.
Get over here.
It is completely countered by this spot right here.
Gotta be careful about that. The team knows that other spot, but depends on what that team knows. Yeah.
I can shoot through that building and hit you right now.
Yep. I'm looking straight at you. Yep.
Yep. That entire section over there, that north, it is so countered by this position. You have to be so careful about that.
Oh yeah. It's like shooting and this.
So I've literally taken out Unicum drivers because of that. Because I can spot them, and because I can just keep pumping rounds on them. So And like that position that I was just in, you can also shoot at heavy tanks, but you cannot shoot their heavy tanks without doing something like this, right? To shoot at that tower. Well, I mean, I am so exposed. I mean, like, dude, Zool and all those guys on that hill line can just open up on me. I am not safe to shoot at the heavies, but where at the other spot, I totally am.
Much arty training?
Say that again?
Much arty training, because this is actually a very good map for trying to do counter battery, because there's so few places arty really goes to. Or
There are a few spots, and we can go to them, and like we'll actually trade off of the hill now, since we've pretty much so covered the hill the most. All right, so let's go to heavy tanks, because it's
a couple of times, because you know where they are, and you just wait for them to fire and blind them.
Yep. So, Vasanti, where do you sit as a arty? Where do you enjoy to sit? And I'm gonna guess you either take where the TD is, where Zool's sitting. So, might be a spot.
Who, me?
Oh, I'm talking about all TDs, or not TDs, but Arties, right? I think this is a pretty good spot. I mean, Artie can get in here. He's got cover. He's got hard cover, right? I think this is an excellent spot for artillery.
I usually sit here or the beach.
Yep. I will see a lot of people sitting here, or I will see them sit over where Zool's at. This is another great spot, and this is pretty much your north side, right?
Yep.
Wow, I've been guessing the wrong spot.
When I play already on this map,
and
these are the first places that I launch a blind shot at.
Oh yes.
That's where they go.
Yeah, because you notice where they're likely to end up being.
I've actually sat right there.
So,
You know how to protect yourself from that, don't you?
What's that?
Shoot and scoot.
oh
I
yeah.
gotta sit back here like next to the edge. Go kaboom. I immediately
Sit right where I'm at, and
I
be
move right forward
from the other side mostly, and shoot all of the castle.
Yep. But on a map
If you
like
want to see where the south spawns are, I can show you.
like this, where there's a few spots. Basically, got to fire and like relocate. Get back and forth, because I'll tell you the truth, when I play right in this map, I'm usually looking for those spots. I'm just waiting to see the trail where they fire and then blast them.
Yeah, that's what I do. I sit there and...
Well, I got this side guessed right.
So this is definitely, like some maps, you know, there's a lot of places they can be, but since there's so few, you know, you shoot, just, again, like, I have a lane, I just go back and forth. Uh-oh, someone's in the camp, shoot them.
Yep, I know, right? Anyways, so right here is usually a good spot. You'll see Artie just kind of tucked away back behind these buildings over here, kind of where Spivey's at. You'll get him, like, over here by this building, right? You'll get him back behind this. TD loves to try to sit right here and shotgun opponents, right?
Let's get off the cap.
So, yep, it's pretty much so back in those buildings. I have seen some pretty ballsy TDs try to sit behind this rock over here, and for the most part, it actually kind of works for anti-counter battery, because they'll sit like perfectly right here, and they can get those straight shot angles, and it really does mess with the heavies right here.
Yep,
So,
that's where I...
They shoot through that little crevice in the rock.
you okay, there, Vasanti?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll sit there and shoot right through there.
Yep. So yeah, oh yeah, I was gonna say the tedious part next. Yeah, I was talking about artillery sitting right where Vasanti's at. That's actually not too bad of a spot. But now TDs also use this spot, right? They like to sit right here where Vasanti's at and use this bush cover, shoot, and then turn and then run behind this rock and stay artillery safe as best they can. And I've seen them use where Oddball's at, and I've seen them come over here and use this rock, right? And then just kind of shoot and roll forward and shoot where Zool's at and whatnot. Keeps them relatively artillery safe. And I have seen them come all the way over here, where Oddball and I are going, and use this bush line, and this gives them field of fire all the way out to the hill. And that rock that's over in H3, that doesn't affect them. So they can get shots all the way out onto that left-hand side. I've seen them to cover the heavy tank side. I've seen them go all the way over to on this base.
Ready to fire.
Like over here. Fight from this position right here, right next to the cap. It gives them a corridor to shoot all the way to that tower. So they have pretty clean shots. I have seen some pretty ballsy ones kind of sit out like right here and utilize this position. Problem is they have to roll all the way back for it, so they got to be like back here in order to stay unlit, which usually means exposure from the hill. So I don't see it that often. So, but yeah. So one thing to note is that the south side has much more spread out TD positions. So their field of fire covers so much more. And you have to be cautious of that, because if on the north side you literally have A, 3, 4, and part of 5. And because of that, these guys are concentrated in one area, but they don't get as much TD firepower onto the heavy tanks in the middle area, like that EF 5-6 or well 4-5 area, right? So we kind of have to pay attention to that. So now that we've covered TDs, and obviously we all know where TDs go on the north side.
SGT_King_Gunner joined your channel MIT. Training on the server.
Then let's roll to heavy tanks. Okay. So heavies will do one of two things. They'll either split themselves and go north this way up into this town, in which case a lot of times you'll see heavy tanks fight from right here. Okay. I see them fight from here all the time. And they'll side scrape off that rock. They are completely artillery safe here. I've seen them get as close to this. They try to fight around this corner a lot. Okay, and on the other side, I see the heavy tanks kind of fight from this rock right here, kind of roll out type thing, or they fight from where Zul's at and try to fight around a corner. I've seen them side scrape off this building right here. And then I've even seen them fight all the way as far out as this rock wall over here. Not as already safe, but they'll try to fight from some of these buildings, like this one and this guy over here. So,
Yeah.
so I've seen them side scrape off this to get shots.
Even move up here along this one.
Yep.
If they can get up there.
Yep.
Before they get spotted.
Now this becomes more of a medium area.
We're various areas on the map for.
Yep. And a lot of times the town can be determined by this medium area right here. Okay. So a lot of times where Zul's at will be a spot that they will use to counterfight the tanks that are along that wall at the DE7 area, right? So, but my problem with that spot is that spot on the hill. You cannot take where Zul's at and where the rest of you guys are at, Spivey and them, without recognizing if Northside has taken that hill, you cannot fight there. It is very, very unwise. I would not recommend it. Okay, because that little spot that's right next to that tower at F7, you aren't going to be able to fight there. It just counters it so wholeheartedly. So, you have to be very careful about that. But I do recommend that medium tanks do try to make their way in here and support the heavies. And they get a lot of corridors, a lot of firing opportunities, firing lines. You just really do have to be very careful of that spot next to that tower for all of the south side on this, right? Because I, as a very good gun depression tank, can fire from that spot and shoot tanks that are down here. Like right here, sitting right here, I can get a shot into the back of a turret, right? I mean, especially like those tall tanks like the Type 4s and the OHOs and stuff like that. Oh yeah. So this whole area kind of gets beaten by that spot, and you have to be very careful about that.
There's
So, now if you're the north side, it is much more difficult to be able to turn into this area due to the fact if you come from the north side and you're trundling down this road, you have to turn a corner in order to fight these guys. But when you do, there's more than likely a TD sitting all the way back at their base, at their camp. So you can't really push. And same thing, like if you want to... Okay, Vasati, that tree is bigger than your tank. Like, I literally went through, and my first thought was, oh my god, did Vasati fall through the, through the ground? Anywho, so you'll see a lot of tanks try to come through here, and they usually just get shot in the side because they're so exposed. So a lot of times I will see South Side take all of this town and be able to push up. And this is where the enemy TDs, the north side TDs, will start to be able to fire in on them. And you will see, quite literally, this road, this little concrete barrier that marks the very edge of the town, becomes this quote-unquote, like, influence zone, right? This is where their influence stops. And this is where they can't cross, right? Because if they cross, they're just going to be an open season, okay? Now, this is also where it becomes very deadly for those TDs on that hill. They get spotted, these guys are going to open up on them. So, you will see a lot of times where the South will take the town. Okay, especially if they field a few mediums there.
Well, isn't it also...
Go ahead.
The thing that I've always had problems is that when you've come in and try to get up the hill from the south side, you always get beaten because it's a longer distance, unless you got a faster tank.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have to take that into consideration whenever you charge for that hill. Are you going to take it?
Right. So you got to figure what's... Okay, I'll ask now. It might be a dumb question, but what is the better tank to try to take that hill with? A medium, light tank?
Anything that does 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Not 100% true, but I see Oddball's point. So, yeah, it's all relative, as Zul says. So, I mean, it depends on the map. But, like, let's say the game's my experience as of late, right? I've been driving the 430 and the 430U, okay? These are decently armored tanks. They are not very fast, like 50 miles an hour is usually what they want to go, okay? And, I mean, compared to, like, a Batchat 12 or a Batchat 25, I mean, like, I'm not really gonna contest that guy in speed. But one of my favorite spots and favorite things to do is, let's say I'm starting from the north side, okay? You can kind of run all the way up to this hill, and you can fight in this almost awkward position, but it's not. So, where I'm sitting when you guys find me, here we go, is so much fun to fight from in a very good low-profile turreted tank. Like my Object 430U, I can roll up and I can just bully anyone from this point. I don't even have to commit to this hill. This is why I also think that this map needs rebalance and why I'm kind of enjoying this map so much. And I can just drive up and just start bullying anybody that's sitting back, right? Be relatively safe. I'm in a hull-down position. But, woo. But yeah, so I mean, if you're from the other side, you're gonna have to book it. So to answer your question is, often I see autoloaders be able to take this hill a lot more effectively and quickly, because if, let's say, you got two medium tanks, one of them's an autoloader, and yeah, but, and I'll get to that but in a minute, Zool. Yeah, if they don't get it right away, they're toast, right? And that's the thing. It's like, if it's a 2v2 scenario, right, that autoloader unloads everything into him, he's going to have a much harder time trying to keep this hill because he's got a 25-second reload time, right? He's got a ridiculous reload time, but his clip is just so damaging. So it's very reliant on what tanks have made it to about where Maxim's at and where Oddball's at. Because if I try to cross right here and I get shot once, maybe twice, right? Okay, two tanks get lucky shots off into me, that autoloader will finish me. So I prefer to fight for the hill. Like if there are no fast tanks, by all means, the fastest tank will get this hill. and you can come up to this position if you're south side, and you can sit right where I'm at, right? And you can just
pick them off.
Yep. You can stop these guys. You're already safe. You can find the right spot to poke, roll up, shoot that guy, roll back, and then you're relatively safe, right? TD's not going to shoot you, and you can pressure these guys off. This is your best advantage of fighting from the hill, is to slowly work and push their pressure back from fighting from this location. So, and I have totally seen people get up here like this. 44 was doing it the other day. Like that, and get down and shoot. Right. Yeah, I watched him do it, and I was like, "Oh, hell, I didn't know you could do that."
Yeah.
Anyways, you don't even need that much, Zul. And it is, you just climb it.
Can't go over the castle, bud.
Nope.
That was
Here you go, Mr. Zul. Oops, sorry, buddy. But anyways, so yeah, it really does depend. Like if you're gonna have 4 tanks fighting for that hill, then a medium tank, right? If you're a medium and you can see that, you're gonna want to go hill and you're just gonna want to fight. But I mean, if there's gonna be like 2 tanks, right? I mean, a light tank is gonna benefit, because if you have the speed, like if you, let's say you're in a 64, right, and you roll up this hill and they've got nothing that's even close to your top speed, you're gonna get this hill before they do. You're gonna get this hill before their heavies can even take a shot at you, right? But I mean, if you're playing like a tier 10 game and these IS-7s are rolling up, they're gonna get there in time to at least probably be able to snapshot one into you. So you have to be very cautious about crossing. You either want to be the first person or you want to be the third person. That second guy gets screwed every time. Okay, that poor guy is just like, we couldn't hit the first guy, hit the second guy, and he just gets nuked. And then the third and fourth guy just run across because they're like, hey, there's 10-second reload times. Yay, we got through. So, but yeah, so where was I? Okay, we're talking about medium tanks, or heavy tanks. All right, so from the north side, the heavy tanks generally want to fight from this corner here, where I'm sitting, or the brave few like to roll all the way up to here. Now, the only time that you can take this position is if your team has won your side of the hill, right? Yeah. Okay, and then you can just kind of poke without any fear of getting flanked, right? And then even if these guys start to get really ballsy, right, and start pushing around this way and going, oh, we're gonna push you off. Well, you got the tanks on the hill to be able to just turn around and go, what you doing, buddy? Yeah. So these two areas kind of go hand in hand. Right, I mean, the hill helps this area the most, and this area is literally the bread and butter for the hill. Right, if this area isn't held, the hill falls immediately, and it's no bueno. I have seen people fight from. Oops, sorry, Zol. Fight from right here in really low-profile tanks, and be able to counter positions. Like if the north side wins the hill, then anybody that tries to pop out, they can just counter shot, and they can fight from here. And I've seen heavy tanks be in here, I've seen medium tanks be in here, so be very cautious of that position. You can kind of do the same thing. Whoop, sorry, Max. You can kind of do the same thing where Spivey's at, but you can actually get lower. This is a good position to counter these guys at, right? Because you can. Anybody that tries to push that rock too aggressively, you can take out. Especially if, you can sit here and shoot off anybody that tries to cross. So, heavy tanks generally want to play in this area and the town side. Now, we're going to talk about the fast lane. We're going to talk about the west-hand side. And that should wrap up this map. So, try to wrap it up in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So, there is so much open ground on this side that it becomes very difficult to push out from this hill without certain conditions being met. Okay? So, a lot of times I will see tanks try to fight from like a position right here. Okay? And try to shoot anybody that's down in that K4 zone. Right? And that's kind of a decent spot to shoot from. but you don't really get all that much cover, and it's difficult. And whomever wins this hill generally tries to use these bushes to fire into the heavy tanks on the left-hand side. But the issue falls that there is so much rock coverage that you really can't help the heavies in that middle area. So the biggest issue becomes where Zul's at, right? So Zul is in a prime position for the south side to be able to stop this area. If you have a halfway decent turret, a medium, like a Patton, a 46, a 48 Patton, a Pershing, a Super P, if he gets here fast enough, can literally take control of this entire area, right? I mean, he's got shots on everybody. And the only thing that he really has to worry about is artillery and the tanks that try to rush him, okay? But he's keeping these guys spotted, and the TDs behind him are just going to open fire. So there's a lot of open ground, and you have to be very careful about crossing this. And it is much easier for the north side to cross this than the south, but the problem is that there's much less positions like that from the north side to be able to stop the south from pushing up. So, you pretty much get a stalemate like right in here, right at the beginning. This rock is like the rock that everyone wants to fight from. And then, as soon as these guys get melted down, then they push up. And the north side has their TD spot. And that's about it that can stop them, like that southern peninsula. So, that TD platform covers 3 angles. It covers the hill if it's lost, it covers the town if it's lost, and it covers the this island if it's lost, okay? I cannot stress the importance of that little platform. Cannot stress the importance of that. But it also means that there are less angles in which for you to fire, right? You don't get the corridors that you need. So, show us the platform again.
People just forget this entire southern map
One
sometimes.
thing that you can think about here too is I've done this several times, and you don't always win, but if none of the enemy comes over here, you can stay in the water all the way to this back border and go up over this hill and still be cover and shoot the enemy up in the middle in the ass.
Yep. You were able to counter fire them from K1 or the K line back there. And the platform I'm talking about, Zul, is the I'm sorry. The platform, Zul, that I'm talking about is the A4 platform with the TDs. Unless you're talking about the one that's over at H1. Yeah, I was talking about like that actual like entire little TD platform that they have that all the TDs want to go to. And it makes sense. It is a very important platform. So, but yeah, and Oddball's right. I mean, if the north side gets down to where he's at, right, and they push down, they can trace the K line all the way into your TD, into your bases, right? And they can push off the heavies. So, if you guys forget about this side, put a tank over here. I mean, like, even if you're halfway up towards the hill, and you recognize that you are going to win the hill because they didn't field enough guys up there, leave the hill. You can do it. Get over here. Help out. I mean, it is very important to at least put one tank over here. So, and sometimes, I mean, like, it's not good for stats. Like, a lot of people will go, well, you need to go to these certain positions because stats. Well, there's stats and then there's winning the game. And if you're on a grind, you want to win. And you want to get some decent damage. Or spots. Right? So, I mean, it's okay if you're just sitting there spotting these guys and preventing them from moving up. If you stall them, then so what? You've stopped them from advancing, which helps you make sure that you guys aren't going to lose. So, think, because a lot of times when I get into a game, I will sit there and go, what do I need? What does the enemy need? What does my team need? And I'll sit there and try to dissect what my team's good at. And I'm not talking about like what this puppy's good at and if his stats are good enough in XVM. I'm talking about he is in an American tank. What does he want to do? He's an American tank. He has decent armor and good gun depression with some a moderate amount of mobility. Okay, he's going to want hills. I am a Russian tank. What do I want to do with my Ruski tank? I want to take it to a city. I want to side scrape off this thing. I want to poke and pop, right? I'm a medium tank. I want to use my turret armor, okay? I'm a TD. Where do I need to go? I'm a waffle. What do I need to do? How far back does these guys need, and how much breathe room do I need? Okay, and if you can sit there and start to get this, even if it's just one tank, where do you think this tank is going to go, and why? You will start to develop your knowledge about the tanks and why they go to these positions so much more, and then the next thing you know, you're going to be like, oh my god, that is a really good position if I was in this tank. Man, I really need to go here because, you know, I have these traits that this tank has. I'm a German tank. I've got really good gun handling, right? Okay, I can snipe. I can be at this position. I've got decent penetration. I'm high tier. I'm low tier. You start to unravel the mysteries of the game just by recognizing why this is a good position, or why this side never wins with this. Okay, I mean, why is it you see the north side take the hill so heavily, and then they just dominate from it, but when the south side does it, the north just kicks their ass. Okay. Now you know. Now you know it's because of that platform that's behind there, right? Yeah. It's an equal height. And because of that equal height, they don't have as much cover as the north side does whenever they try to assault the south. So having that information, you can now go, oh, I know what to be focusing on. So it just sit there and try to gauge. And like, especially with mines, you really do learn which tanks are faster than you, because you're like, oh man, I gotta fucking book it to this position. Let's go. And then you finally get there, and you're like, oh man, there's 3 tanks. And then you realize it's a bat chat, and it's an RU. Okay, that makes sense. They beat me. Cool. I mean, now I know next time I see 2 bat chats, I'm gonna know that they make it to that hill before I do. Okay, in which case, that means I'm not going to rush their solo. I'm going to ping a buddy and in chat be like, yo, bud, we need to go up here and gang up on these guys. And then the next thing you know, this bat chat runs up there going, haha, I've made it to the hill. And there's 3 of your tanks going, hi, buddy, we knew you were going to be there. Bye. And he just gets eviscerated. Okay, happens all the time. Also, aim for tracks. Always. For that first shot at mines, man, if you can hit that dude in the tracks and take his sprocket out, his game's over. He's going to the garage. Period. The end. Everybody's going to open up on that guy. It is hysterical, and it sucks to be that guy. Okay? So when you book it for the mines, dude, have your repair kit just hot and ready. Just hover over it, and as soon as you notice your tracks go, book it. Just double tap 5 if that's what you have it on, and just keep rolling. So, but yeah, always go for that track shot. It is hysterical. It is so funny. Anyways, it sucks so bad. But any other questions about the mines? I mean, anything that I didn't go over that you guys want? I mean,
no.
No.
Okay. Now, would you guys next week like another map tactics, or do you guys want to go over another core mechanic?
Map tactics are always good because
okay.
Well, Glacier and especially Province, I hate that one. It's just absolutely.
Oh man, Province is such a pain in the ass.
That one's got so much limited potential, but I'm still trying to figure out the fact it is.
I need more playtime on Province to be able to give you a better answer and better experience with that. So, I mean, if you guys need me to, I can sit there and dig around about Province, but I'm not going to be able to give you as much detail as Mines. I'll give you a heads up on that one. Yeah, what map do you struggle on?
Is the sand dunes one?
Sand River? One that's got the mountain all the way at the top left corner?
Yeah.
Okay. I can definitely do Sand River. I actually enjoy that. So, what are your guys' votes on the next map? Sand River is one, and then...
Sand River.
Okay. We can definitely do Sand River. So I'll do a map tactics about that, and I will try to get that uploaded tonight, guys, and I will post, like, I'm going to try to make an MIT YouTube channel and go from there. And, I mean, even if it's just us watching, I don't care. I'm not out to make money. I'm out to help inform you guys and get you guys the information you need. So let's hopefully that builds up a little bit more. Probably going to need Zool's help about that. But yeah, so thank you guys for coming out. This is yeah, no, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, a lot of help.
I hope you guys have a better time with mines now, and like have certain things click in your head and figured out spots. A lot of hill work. I mean, there's a lot of little divots and bumps that you're gonna run into, especially in a Russian tank. Where you're gonna be like, man, I can't shoot at this guy, and then you overexpose. And if you would have been like 2 or 3 feet to the left or the right, you wouldn't have had that problem. You'll work and iron all that out the more that you do this. But now that you have a general understanding and general like where you should be specifically and why you should be here and what you need to look for, you guys will have a much easier time with mines. So I will cook something up for Sand River next. So. Yep. All right, guys. Well, have a great tanking time tonight. So we got enough people on here. You can pop one of those